Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Cocktails After Dark. Today we're going to do a cocktail out of this 1934 cocktail manual called My New Cocktail Book by Mr. G.F. Steele. Mr. Steele compiled this book. He went out into the wider world, collected stories and cocktail recipes, and put them in this book as the ones that he really liked. And you can tell that he's compiled it because as you flip through the book, you see all kinds of different measurement systems used for each cocktail. So he has just taken what he's learned from somebody else and put it in this book and hasn't changed it at all. Some of the cocktails come with stories, and the cocktail that we're going to do today comes with a story. It is called the White Lady. Now, this is 1934. The White Lady appears in a lot of cocktail books that I have from mid-1920s and later. And so the recipe in this book follows fairly closely to the one in the 1930 Savoy cocktail book by Harry Craddock. Same proportions, but one of the ingredients is different. So let's start out and see what happens. So a component in pretty much every White Lady is an orange liqueur. This one specifically calls out Cointreau, as does the one in the Savoy cocktail book. And a lot of the other recipes call for triple sec or different orange liqueurs. Any orange liqueur would work. One of the things that I have read, though, and as I was researching the triple sec and orange liqueurs, most of them have gotten a little bit drier. So Cointreau is a little bit drier than it would have been in this time period, so we may have to add some sugar later. And it's interesting, in the 1934 book, he says if you can get a hold of any. So I guess in 1934, it was hard to get a hold of Cointreau. Who knows? Next in the 1934 recipe is lime juice. Now, pretty much every other White Lady cocktail that I have come across calls for lemon juice, not lime juice. So I don't know how this one ended up with lime, although the story might give some of that away. In the 1934 cocktail book, he specifically says that this recipe comes from Mr. W.C. Powers, and Mr. Powers says the only new cocktail in London is one invented by a man at Quaglinos, which is called the White Lady. And then he goes on to tell you how the barman at Quaglinos makes this, and he calls out specifically lime juice. So we don't know whether it was invented at that bar with lime juice, or if the guy at that bar just used lime juice because that's what he had available. Next in is gin. Every cocktail of this type uses gin, and Julie and I were just in Quebec and took a walk through the SAQ and found a couple of really cool looking artisanal gins. So I'm going to give those a go. Haven't tried these yet before at all. This one is Madison Park, and it is a London Dry style gin. And the other gin is this one, and it is an artisanal gin, but it uses some different flavors, so let's give that a go. And we'll ice and shake. Okay, so double strain as usual.
Hey Glenn, hey
Jules.
friends! That looks very refreshing, which for a day like today is fabulous.
Yes, I think so.
It's a bit of a hot day.
I think so. So this is called the White Lady, as presented in 1934 and 1930 in
So
both
like
of
a
these
ghost?
cookbooks. Yeah,
I don't know. I always think of that as being a title of books with ghosts.
with
in them.
ghosts and hauntings. Now, 3 ingredients, and this book lists or attributes it to a certain bar. None of the other ones I have attribute it to a certain bar.
Other than the fact that it's in a book
From a bar, yes. One of the interesting things is that these are early recipes for this cocktail. If you were to go into a bar today and ask for a White Lady, you would probably get something with egg in it, or an egg white.
Oh, okay.
You would get something with cream in it.
Okay.
You could get egg and cream. To make it more white, that they take that white part very literal rather than just something that's pale yellow.
And I see we're trying some of our new gins.
Some of the new gins. So let's give this a go. Wait, which one have I got? This is the London Dry Gin in this one, and that is the 48.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
It's definitely refreshing.
Yeah. I don't think it needs any more sugar. To me, that's...
Oh, you thought it might need sugar? It's got a very lemonade-y flavor to it.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It does.
Oh.
Completely different.
And yet both are very lovely. Like this one I think has a more gin-like flavor.
Completely different, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And yet both
Like
are...
that one I'd be like, oh yeah, it's gin in there. And this one is...
Which one is...
You'd almost tell me that this was some kind of a flowered liqueur almost.
So this is London Dry Gin.
Okay.
This is this one, the Madison Park.
Okay.
And this is... So I looked at probably a dozen different bottles in French this morning that we picked up in Quebec. And I was reading the ingredients of all of them, and some of them aren't, but yes, that one is blueberry.
And I think that makes such a difference in that drink. It's very lovely.
Okay. I can see how that one has that flavor.
I need a different drink in the middle.
Okay. I get it. I get it. People don't like gin, and I hear it over and over and over and over again. I know who you are. Because you tell me every video. I know who you are. That they don't like gin, and I think, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of gin that I don't like. But maybe there's one out there because gin is such a wide category of flavors, and those are two that have completely different flavors.
Very different. Now I like gin. I'm not a big, I'm not gonna drink gin straight up per se.
Yeah.
But these are both really good in this.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, I don't know how many various versions of this you could make with so many different gins. You could just spend all day and just drink these with a different gin.
So many different gins.
That's a definitely stay-at-home activity.
And so many different triple secs or orange liqueurs that you could use in it.
Let's not have. I'm not going to write out the math equation.
And then you get into lemon versus lime juice, and it starts to get crazy.
It's like a weekend project.
And I also want to encourage you to step away from the giant multinational corporate branding.
Look at what someone in your neighborhood's doing. There's somebody in your neighborhood doing something interesting.
Yes, and give them a shot. Give them a try. It may not work out, because sometimes we buy stuff from a local producer that just, they're not there yet. They're trying, they're struggling, they're learning their craft, they're figuring it out. It's not there yet.
Go in, taste it.
But go in and taste it and try it, and then try it in a cocktail. And you might find that these artisanal brands are something that you find much more flavorful than that giant multinational corporate brand that is trying to please billions of people.
They do. I mean, they have a role, right? They have a place.
They have a place. They have a place. Step outside of that for a moment and try something else. I think that's... Anyway, this is a great cocktail.
Yeah. I'm going to go sit outside.
The portion's really good.
In the sun and enjoy it.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.